Hi and good evening. It is just coming up on 7:30 here in a little bit, 7:20 now, and well, we're in some cooler weather, definitely as anticipated. The weekend was kind of chilly. Temperatures making it below freezing in many spots already. So that first frost and freeze is come and gone in many places. Throughout Connecticut, Rhode Island, and southeastern Massachusetts. And there's more chilly weather that is on the way for us as we go through the middle to end of this work week. One of the things that I've been talking about, if you follow these Facebook Lives over the last week, maybe even 10 days, was the potential for a late October storm. Had it ballparked at between the 26th and the 29th. That's what we were talking about last week, and it certainly looks like there is going to be some stormy weather to deal with, and that's coming our way over the weekend. So that forecast seems to be working out pretty well. That was one that the computer models didn't always have a storm for us, but the weather setup looked good to me for some stormy weather along the eastern seaboard, and it looks like our Saturday could end up being somewhat of a washout, a raw and rainy day. We'll talk more about that coming up, and Sunday, Monday might even be unsettled as well. So not the best weather pattern overall here to round out the month of October. Definitely running cooler than normal. I was talking with my wife today. I was like, man, I just wish we had a little bit more of 65 for a high and 45 for a low. Seems like we didn't get a lot of that. We were pretty mild early this month, and now we're a lot cooler than that as the temperature today made it up to around 50 degrees. It's still around 50 out there right now, and in some spots closer to 45 as you get into the countryside this evening. Tomorrow will be in the 50s. The normal high is still around 60 degrees. And then it looks like it's going to feel like the 40s on Wednesday, even if it does get to 50 degrees. And Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we may not see the temperature get above 50, which is pretty chilly, again, for late October. Dry weather likely for us on Thursday and Friday. And it looks like Saturday will be windy and rainy. So let's see. John, good evening. Eileen as well. Susan says it's freezing in West Haven. Yeah. Not quite freezing, but it is chilly in the 40s to around 50. Already have seen some sub-freezing weather, though, in so many towns throughout New England. So a little bit early this year to get that temperature below 32. Kristen wants to know what day is the bad weather, because her son's birthday party is Sunday. Well, right now, to me anyway, Kristen, this is still pretty early in the week. The timing of the bad weather, worst weather anyway, looks like Saturday morning, midday, maybe lasting through the afternoon. But the storm system itself will still be around on Sunday. So I don't expect a lot of sunshine on Sunday, probably a gray day on Sunday. And hello, Allison. So if anyone has any questions there, feel free to chime in. Mark with the question, hi Fred, are you going to stay working at home? Well, I am consulting right now. One benefit is that I don't need to shave every day, so that's sort of good. But I do try to shave just about every day. Well, listen, I mean, there's only a certain amount of TV meteorologist jobs that are available. I could go work in Colorado Springs, but I don't think that anyone who's watching this necessarily wants me to go do that. And I don't want to move either out of southern New England. So I'm looking in Providence and Hartford and Boston, Hartford, New Haven market, and we'll see what happens. But for now, yes, Mark, this is what I'm doing. Trust me, you guys will all be the first to know if anything comes up. But for now, I'm going to continue with this. All right, so hey, Jamie and Gretchen saying, when is there going to be 60s for temps? Don't hold your breath on that. That may not be coming back for a while. And Heather wants to know, what kind of wind should we expect? I assume you're asking about Saturday. And it looks like it could be pretty gusty. Could have some gusts up over 30 miles an hour, which is not a great time of the year to have a wind and a rain storm, because we're getting a little bit farther into the foliage season, which has been a kind of a slow start, at least in my estimation. I've seen some pictures online that I've shown, say, from this day last year to this day this year, and the colors are a lot greener this year than they were at this time last year. But there are some trees that have popped pretty good, and those may get stripped of their leaves a little prematurely with a wind and a rainstorm. So, again, Heather, that's kind of, I'm assuming you're asking about Saturday, and that's a little bit specific of a question to really get into too much detail about when you're looking at a storm that is still basically 4 or 5 days away. All right, so Allison looking to pick some pumpkins on Saturday. You might have to, depending on the weather, end up getting those a little bit earlier, and then carve them up on Saturday night. Sean asking too about the wind, so we will see how that plays out. Doug was an old Rhode Island viewer for my days at WLNE. Yeah, so some of you have seen me in Rhode Island, others have seen me in Connecticut, and a few have probably seen me up in Boston too. So I've run the gamut there of the three big stations in New England, three big markets in New England. Been fortunate to do that. So, all right, so. And just a few other people saying hi, Heather and Kathy. Hi to both of you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this weather here. Let's get into it. Tomorrow, a few passing showers are possible. I certainly do not expect tomorrow to be a washout. For anyone who's watching in Connecticut, it's not going to be a very rainy day for us. Oh, somehow this got slid over a little bit. Let's see if I can fix this here. Try to square that up. There we go. It's a little bit better. Still a little off to the side, though, so I'm going to adjust that right now. Hang on, bear with me for just a second. Again, tomorrow is not going to be anything close to a washout, but there will be a few showers around here and there, and we'll look, actually, first thing I want to look at, jumping the gun a little bit here, look at some computer model information that'll give us a look at potentially what we're talking about in terms of rain for tomorrow. So the green on it kind of looks like a radar projection here, and you'll notice that there's really not that much of it. This is now 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, a few scattered showers throughout Connecticut. They tend to work their way into Rhode Island by about 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And then a better chance of showers midday hours, eastern Connecticut and Rhode Island, than in the central and western part of Connecticut. Those showers will have likely moved on. A late day or early evening shower, even a thunder shower possible throughout Connecticut as a strong cold front pivots through. It looks like a very blustery Wednesday with some cool air coming in. The wind on Wednesday may gust over 30 miles an hour at times, depending on how this storm system that's off to the east here, how this thing develops. And then it's just going to be chilly and dry for us on Thursday and on Friday. That temperature probably getting back below freezing in many towns on Friday morning. But a lot of people are already asking about the weekend, even here on a Monday evening. So let's talk a little bit about it. So I see Saturday being a day where we have some gusty wind, we have some rain. You can see this particular computer model ensemble. All these L's represent where there may be a storm system. So there's 50 different members of this computer model ensemble, and there are lots of different L's there too. So that tells you that just about every member has a storm developing somewhere around Cape Hatteras and then working its way to the north. Another thing to point out here, give you a little inside baseball on the weather maps. The closer these lines are together, the windier it is. So we have pretty good what we call pressure gradient here, which would allow for windy conditions, particularly at the shoreline during the day on Saturday. There is also the possibility too. I think let me just zoom this out for just a second here. Something happened with my. There we go. I think that's going to be better. There is the possibility that there might be just enough cold air around for a little bit of sleet and snow at the start of this thing on Saturday. Now, I don't want to talk too much about it because when we get to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll nail that down for you. I don't expect it to be anything that's going to cause any travel problems or any icy roadways. It would be more of a novelty type of thing where you'd see some snowflakes or hear some sleet pellets hitting the windows before a changeover to rain within a relatively quick period of time. But there is going to be some chilly air in place Thursday and Friday before this storm system moves to the north. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that you could end up with some flakes flying, particularly in the northwestern hills of Connecticut. And then as you can see by this map here, anywhere that there's gray shading, that just says that there's the potential for a little bit of snow and sleet before changeover to a chilly rain at some point during the day on Saturday. As we get closer to this storm actually developing, we'll be able to give you a more detailed forecast. Again, I don't want to get too involved with talking about any snow potential or sleet potential. for two reasons. One, it's only Monday. We're talking about Saturday. And probably the bigger reason is that I don't expect it to be very impactful as far as how it would affect travel. It'd just be more of a novelty type of thing before a changeover to rain. I think that the rain and the wind are probably the bigger deal. Christina's saying, well, how about North Conway? So now we're way up in New Hampshire, and there's a better chance of seeing snow as you get into the higher elevations of New Hampshire. Areas that you see shaded in blue here would probably pick up some snow accumulation, and that's the Berkshires up into southern Vermont. And then as you get up, then you can't really see too much of the White Mountains up here, but you can see Maine and so there is the potential for some snow up in far northern New England that would stick a little bit better, and even up in the Berkshires. Again, this is something that we'll talk about as the week goes on. Don't start running out, telling all your friends, oh, it's going to snow on Saturday. Doesn't look like there's going to be enough cold air around for the huge majority of this storm to be in the form of frozen precipitation, rather in the form of chilly rain is what we're much more likely to have based on what I'm seeing right now. All right, so a few little headlines for you again. Stray showers for us and in the 50s on Tuesday, so just a little bit milder than today, but I really hesitate to be like, oh, it's going to be so much nicer on Tuesday. It's going to be a gray day. It's going to be kind of a breezy day. And with those showers around, so even if it gets to 55, 56 degrees, that's still not like anything to write home about. And then Wednesday looks blustery and chilly. Cannot rule out a spotty shower popping up on Wednesday. Thursday to Saturday may stay in the 40s all 3 days. Depending on the track of that storm, though, for Saturday, the temperature could punch up into the 50s and maybe even 60 degrees if the center of the storm goes well to our west. So we might have to adjust the temperature forecast some on Saturday, depending on the exact track of that storm system. Again, dry weather in the forecast for Thursday and Friday, and probably sub-freezing in many towns early Friday morning. Saturday, right now anyway, looks rainy and raw with that gusty wind, and it's possible that there could be a second storm that follows. This is interesting. You can kind of see this here. Push that back. That follows in the wake of that first storm that comes through on Saturday. So again, those are all the things that we're watching for this week ahead. Definitely chilly weather to round out the month of October. It looks like it'll stay cool or at least seasonable in early November. So that question about when are the 60s coming back, I don't think we're bringing 60 back anytime real soon. Late tomorrow, it's possible that parts of southwestern Connecticut touch 60 degrees, and then again, depending on the evolution of that storm. But if you're looking over the weekend, it could sneak up to 60. But if you're looking for sunny and 60, I don't see that coming down the pike anytime soon. So I hope you have a great rest of your Monday evening. Again, if you want to follow my updates, a good way to do it is by liking my Facebook page and then following me on Facebook, making sure that notifications are on, and you'll get notified when I do these Facebook Live updates. Another way to do it is to go to rightweather.com, and you can see on there about a little subscription service where as we get farther into the fall season, and eventually when we are talking about snow events, have some pretty detailed forecast information coming your way on rightweather.com that will be that'll be behind a paywall basically, and so will a private Facebook group. So hope you have a great rest of your Monday evening, and we'll catch up again tomorrow. Take it easy.